DJI status, another day closer. Got that coming up next. Bill, a drone reviewer here. If you like the content of this video or anything on my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. With that, let's begin. The other night, I hosted Rotor Talk Live and was joined by Mr. Ron Brown and very special guest, Johnnie DroneFlyer, Johnnie Alfonso. We discussed all the latest, including a very special video that Vic Moss put out about how you can still help try to save DJI drones in the United States. So without any further ado, let's roll that clip in its entirety. December 23rd is coming here. And I put out, and I want to spend some time on this because I think it's actually, this is pretty good. And this is a video, and I can't play it, but it's Vic Moss. And this is a little bit different here. And here's the actual video itself. And I have links in the description for this. You really need to watch this video. And more importantly, okay, is there are links here that I'm going to show you guys.
Is this something he just put up in the last, say, 24 hours, Bill?
No, this actually came out. I'm trying to remember. I think it came out November 6th. Okay. But basically, what he's asking people to do is to again fill out a form letter. Now, it really isn't. I use ChatGPT to help me, okay, and to send it to the chairman of the committee, and the chairman of that committee is Ted Cruz, and then there's another senator, and I forget her name as well too, from the state of Washington. So, and I'm going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and flip this link here. And it's not going to let me do that. Let me go ahead and get this up here.
That was actually down today, Bill. So if you're trying to click that link, I saw Vic actually say something about that today, I believe. So
yeah, let me go ahead and see. I'll see if I can bring that up. Okay. Tell Congress agencies must conduct a drone security audit here. Okay. Now, it says last year Congress passed the National Defense NDAA with a provision called Section 1709, which directs a national security audit to undertake a security analysis of DJI on Intel drones by December 23rd. If that was all it did, the drone community would fully support it. We need to know the drones we use every day are safe. However, if the review is not done, DJI and Intel drones will be automatically added to the list that would prevent you from purchasing new models. Guilty without evidence is not the America we believe in and would have devastating consequences for our industry. The deadline is fast approaching. Reports suggest that no security agency has begun the process of the security audit. However, Congress and President Trump can still do something to prevent this. They can modify the provision by adding an amendment to this year's NDAA to delay the deadline date, appoint a single agency in charge of carrying out this analysis, and ensure the results are made public. This will provide clarity and time and make sure that DJI and Intel are given a thorough assessment rather than listed by default. Americans deserve the results of a fair audit, and it's quick and easy to write your members of Congress and tell them to extend Section 1709's deadline to provide a clear picture of drone security to the public. All you have to do is fill out the short form provided. It only takes a few moments. It'll automatically match you with your members of Congress. Congressional offices value personal stories, so we encourage you to share how you use your drone and how you might be impacted if you could use that. Time is running out, so submit your letters today. Please use a personal email address for this as well, too. Now, what else I did in this, too, and Vic has another article, is that I emailed the chairman of the committee, which is Ted Cruz, and then there's another senator as well, and he gave some excellent verbiage on that, and I think this actually may be in the video here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and bring these links back up in the video. And, I can tell you this, guys, this is important stuff. Okay. And, as long as there is a breath, we have, we're able to do this here. Now let me go ahead and do this here. All right. Now, this is what I ended up using, and I'm going to bring this up here. And this was a great bullet point that either Vic or somebody from their organization put together. And this is basically what I used. I changed some of the wording in here to kind of make it my own. And one of the other things that I did with this as well, and let me go ahead and share this here. All right. And it's great. I mean, it really hits and highlights a lot of these bullet points. And again, these links are in that video that Vic has posted right here. The audit doesn't happen. Thousands of companies that rely on drones for their livelihood will eventually go out of business. The drones mentioned in Section 1709 account for over 90% of all drones currently used by businesses, both small and large, across the country. There are currently, as of 11/25, 481,760 people have taken and passed the remote pilot exam and now in possession of the remote pilot certificate. Even if only half of them are currently using this in a business, that's almost 250,000 businesses that will be adversely impacted by the FCC ban. Okay. And this goes on and on and on. Now, he provided, some email addresses here, and it ends up these email addresses are kind of like out of date. But I went out to the Congressional Register and actually found the one for Senator Cruz and then the one from the senator from the state of Washington. And I was able to get kind of cut and paste and put this in here. And ChatGPT really helped me out a lot. And one of the things that I can tell you, if you guys want to pursue something like this, which I highly recommend that you're doing, because I know a lot of you are frustrated and you want to be able to do something. This is something tangible that you can do. What I did was I put together an introductory paragraph along the lines of, I've been a Part 107 pilot since 2017. I have a drone channel on YouTube that is educational in purpose in nature, and we discuss all the latest updates on a weekly basis. I personally know of people who have used drones for veterans who have used that to help with PTSD, something along those lines. Make it personal, make it relatable to you. The last thing that you need to do is go on a rant in one of these. All right.
Yeah.
Use what Vic has supplied here as a guide, especially this right here. I pretty much used a lot of this verbatim. Okay. Because this was excellent. These are excellent talking points. And I crafted it into my own email. It took me about 4 hours. I spent about 4 hours doing this, but I thought it came out really well. ChatGPT corrected it for punctuation, spelling, all that kind of good stuff, and it flowed real well. So I ended up sending this whole thing to to that drop down list that I showed you earlier here, and that includes the White House, President Trump, my congressman, and my 2 United States senators. One who happens to be Rick Scott. All right, but anyway,
Rick will read that email over real good, Bill.
Oh, I am sure he will be doing that as he's sitting under a palm tree, and sipping on a margarita. Okay?
He might ban emails in the state of Florida. That's what.
He might start doing that. He absolutely might just start doing that as well here. So, just as a side note, just to let you guys know, what they're doing now here in the county that I live in. All right. If you go speeding in a school zone, obviously, during school hours, but they're catching people on weekends too.
Oh,
and they're finding them.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
They have cameras there now, and they're catching people. I'm like, whoa.
It should be on only the posted hours of a school zone.
Yeah, that's why I think that's going to get legally challenged. But that news has dropped recently, and people
if they get half the people to pay the tickets, that's what they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But with all of this here, because I get a lot of comments each week after we do these videos, a lot. All right. And a lot of people are frustrated. A lot of people are upset, what can we do? And, it's a hopeless cause and Big Brother is going to force us down our throats. And, I get the whole gambit of stuff. Okay. I get everything, there's some comments, unfortunately, that I have to delete because, maybe a little too overt politically in nature, or, using 4-letter words that you shouldn't. I mean,
Bob Casey makes a good point a couple back. I don't know if you.
Yeah, he did. He did.
If you just sit back and say nothing, that's what's going to happen. So he's right about that.
Bill. Yeah. Bill, in the bigger picture here, say everything goes bad. The 23rd happens. No reviews are done. Then say after the Christmas holidays, the worst things happen. All sales of new drones are banned by DJI, Alltel, Chinese drones, however you want to say it, and nobody can get their hands on any Chinese drones next year, and maybe even people have to stop flying certain drones. Will people kind of wake up at that point, and say, "Oh man, they really did this," or whatever? And even more than just drone pilots themselves, maybe like, even other people who can't get their roofs inspected now, or they can't get their real estate photos done in their house or whatever. Do you think it'll be a big wake up to people come next year if all this goes through as worse as we think it is, Bill?
I think so, Ron. I think a lot of people are, I don't want to say ambivalent to it. I don't think a lot of people are educated. I'll use the word educated. I don't think, all of us are educated. Okay.
Yes.
All the guys in the chat, Drum Nation, Johnny Show, Ray Show, Bill Thomas's show, people that watch that are in the know and are educated, and we know what's going on. Okay.
Right.
We have an idea.
But I'm talking, but what about the weekend warrior? We'll call him the monthly warrior, who has an inexpensive drone, say the Mini 4K. He goes out and flies it once a month at the park, whatever. He has no idea any of this stuff's going on, Bill.
Right. No, they'll know. They'll never. If
and they won't know until somebody tells them they can't fly their drone anymore or whatever.
Right.
And that, and I'm going to say, us people that know all the rules, know all the news come up, are we the minority here? And the guy that just flies once in a while, is he the majority? And for the drone flyer community,
I think on a whole, Ron, we're just we think we're a large community, but we're really not. And I think that's, is it too late, too little, too late? I mean, probably, but, if you don't sit back and do anything, then yeah, we have no, we hardly have a voice now, but it's got to be heard what little faint voice that it might be,
I think of
Richard's comment there will eventually be U.S. made drones, and we know how slow things goes with the government. When the government says something's going to happen, you can 5-10 years can go by in a blink of an eye, right, Johnny?
Well, I think there will be some USA made drones, but I think they're all
consumer. Let me put the consumer in there. I don't care about $50,000 enterprise drones.
Right.
Will there be consumer grade?
No, they have no reason to build something like this. I mean, it's just not. It's a small market. They're going after. If this drone costs $200 a build and can sell it to the government for $10,000, that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't blame them on that part. But as far as getting like a Mini 5 Pro from a U.S. builder, it might take 5 years, and if it does, it's going to be up to maybe what a Mini 2 was 3 years ago.
Well, I want to relate a couple of stories here that, actual true stories here. Okay, you guys probably, and I'm sure a lot of you heard Eddie Rickenbacker, the famous World War I airplane ace from the United States. Okay, he was out in World War II. Okay, he was out flying on a B-17 that had a ditch in the Pacific Ocean. All right, and what they did was, when those planes ditch, and when you understand if you do the ditching right, the plane will float for a while. All right. And they weren't sure how long it floated, but they left a lot of valuables. I mean, they got some of them into the rafts, but they didn't get all of them. And he realized, the plane sat up there for almost 10 minutes before it sank, and they could have grabbed a lot more supplies. They all ended up getting rescued. But the moral of the story was, there was still hope. There was still time to get this done. All right. The other story that I want to relate to you guys is this. Okay, is our incredible federal government. Just absolutely incredible. All right. My ham radio license was up for renewal. Okay. Now, as we all know, the government shutdown has ended. It's been signed into law and all that kind of good stuff. And everything's operating. Okay. So I decided to go out before I go out to the website. I decided to go out and check what FCC says on Twitter. We're back up. We're running. Everything's fine. No problem. All right. So I go out there on Sunday to check the link. Okay. I didn't get the 404 error. I got another page up here, and I'm like, what is this? And everybody was saying the same thing. They were getting that. Okay. The same thing. All right. And it's open. And the chairman of the FCC, who we all know of by name now. Okay. Everybody was plastering him out on X saying you're open for business, but this is what we get. All right. And here I am, because renewing a ham radio license, it's a once in a 10-year event. You just got to do it once every 10 years. But the process, okay, I was able to get on and do that today. But let me tell you this, okay, software from 1990 was more advanced than the software that I was using today, okay? Some of these text boxes on my desktop were no bigger than this, okay? It was ridiculous. And then, okay, like 4 different screens to answer one question, all right? And then to go ahead and pay for it, it takes me to a completely different system, okay? I have to log out of this system, get into another system, use a special ID that I've set up, okay? Go ahead and pay that. Then hopefully it takes me back to the other system to show I can that I've actually paid for it, and that I can print off my receipt, which I did. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, this isn't the 1980s here. You know, we're in the
Thank you, Brandon Carr.
Yes. I mean, my gosh. I mean,
how
seriously.
many years is that good for? A couple of years, or is it a year?
It's good for 10.
Oh, okay.
My ham radio license, which is nice because, you know, it's like once every 10 years. That's all you got to do, which is
hopefully
really
Brandon
nice.
Carr is long gone by then.
Yeah. And then you don't have to, what's nice about ham radio is I don't even have to take another test or anything. Okay. Once you pass all these tests, it's for life. Okay. You just have to pay $30 every 10 years for it, which is a real bargain kind of a thing. But in relating it to all of this, okay, and I'm trying to say, you know, the federal government, you know, and I'm not talking, you know, political sides, Republican or Democrat or anything. They are so up, it isn't funny. All right. It's ridiculous. All right. And we all know, you know, we've hashed this around 1,000 times. Okay. We all know that, you know, as my dad used to say, you know, it's like day old fish left on the counter overnight. Okay. We all know why it's really stinking. Okay. And this whole mess about the drones. We know that. We get that. We understand that. But what I'm saying is with this letter from Vic Moss and doing this, all right, it's, you know, is it futile? It may be, but you know what? For me, I look at it this way, that I went ahead, you know, and I did something extra above and beyond the Call of Duty right here. You know, we don't know that at the 11th hour and 59th minute, something may happen. That's
yeah,
what
you want to go down fighting, right?
Exactly here. Yeah. You know, you don't know.
But
and
you know, the difference here, I think we all kind of knew that Twitter, or well, X, whatever it is, would get that last minute stay. But the same feeling, you just don't get the feeling with this situation.
Yeah. TikTok. He might say TikTok.
I mean, TikTok. Yeah. But so, you know, it's just, you just don't get the same feel. You just feel like it's kind of a done deal already. But we still can fight, you know, and still don't want to give up. I mean, like a lot of people, I know, Ron, you do a little. I mean, you don't make a living off your drone stuff, but a lot of people do. And a lot of people, you know, invest lots of dollars in those drones.
And of course, I already have a bunch of drones. So, you know, as long as they don't break my drones or come take them, I'll still be doing real estate stuff for years without getting a new drone. But what about the new guy that just wants to get into it? He won't have a chance to make a little money doing, because he won't be able to purchase the drone.
No, what do they do with a lot of this? You know, there's a bunch of schools that do that and invested in, you know, I mean, police departments, fire departments, first responders. I mean, there's millions of dollars invested in these drones that, you know, I mean, look what they did in the state of Florida, Bill. Of course, that was a couple of years ago now that, you know, he kind of banned them really before all this even kind of, I mean, it was the very beginnings of chatter about banning drones, you know.
And Chris, to answer your question, I did get a response from both the senators, and it was pretty much a canned response. Okay. Is what I got from them. And I got a response from my congressman. All right. I didn't get a response from Scott or from our other senator, Ashley Moody. So just to let you know, but I did get a response from Ted Cruz's office, and also the other senator from the state of Washington. And I'm sorry, I forget her name. I apologize.
You know what kind of did my letter in real quick is like when I pulled up my senator who has an office here in Hammond, and when I pulled up her picture, her picture is with Stefanik on her page, on a welcome page. So I kind of felt I was already behind. But hey, I did send a letter and did get a response. It was more of I'll say a form letter, but I actually know one of her, I don't know what they call him. He
well, you know, one of the things that I want to keep talking about and keep pushing until the 11th hour and 59th minute is is to go ahead and stock up and supply up, as much as you can on batteries, on props. If you want to buy another drone right now, do it, go for it. Because, once the ban hits, we really don't know. We're in uncharted territory.
Yeah.
We don't know where things are going.
Yeah.
You also need to listen to this, and this is really important. You need to download DJI Assistant 2 for consumer drones. When you go out there and look for that, it's important that you look for the DJI Assistant 2 for consumer drones, because if you don't type consumer drones on there, you're not going to find the right one. And I've posted links before for that, but I'm going to try to find that and get that posted in there as well too, because that'll be a method anywhere you're at in the world. You download the app and you log in, and you should be able to download any firmware update for any consumer drone that DJI has out there. It doesn't matter.
Another tip, Bill, if you were on a firmware that you like, works good, there's no bugs, don't update. Just stay on a known good firmware too. Come up around holidays. Bill, before we switch over to Steel Nation, can I just bring one I thought it was an interesting thought, Bill. Today we woke up, right? And the Action 6 is advertised right there on DJI. We can see the specs, we can see the little promo videos, but of course there was no button to buy it. But it's a trend now. When DJI releases a drone, it's not on US website at all. There's no pictures, there's no mention of it at all. But when they release a non-drone item, it is there on their US website. You just can't buy it. Now, that's a trend that's been happening. Now, do you think behind the scenes, DJI is, maybe they've given up on being able to sell drones in the US, but maybe they're still working with the government to be allowed to sell their non-drone stuff going forward? I mean, I'm just making all that up, but it's got to be a reason why they're letting us see their non-drone products on the US website.
Yeah, Hot Rod Andy just posted something real good too. Get a VPN. So if you guys need to do it. VPNs are very inexpensive. Go out there and find one.
And this may not work forever, but you don't have to get that complicated. Just go to their homepage, because I've done this for the download. What do you call it? The correction LUTs for your drones. Go to their main US page. Go down to the bottom corner, not the store. This is the main page. Go down to the bottom right-hand corner and change from US to any other store, Canada, it doesn't matter. Anything that's in English that you can read, change it, and all the stuff's all right there without any VPNs or without downloading the app Bill's drone talk about. Just change the website to another country. You can go and get anything you want.
I think you'll always be able to get an assistant too. I mean, I downloaded an upgrade yesterday for the goggles, Integra. I just think, because even to activate 04 air units, 03 air units, you got to go up there, So I don't know. I think that might be there for a while, but who knows? We don't know what we're facing.
John, cameras are not available. That's correct, but you can see them on the DJI website. The drones you cannot even find them on the US website, but the cameras are there on the US website. They just don't have a purchase link. So why are they doing that for non-drone? It's not cameras. Any non-drone device is there on the US website, but any new drone is not. So there's DJI's got something going on there. They wouldn't do that.
It's like teasing, the old thing, carrot before the horse, teasing the horse. Here's carrot, but I can't get it, kind of a thing. That's kind of like what this is. Question of the day: what did you think of DJI status another day closer? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.